Today I'm going to push myself. I'm going to try and do 2 dresses in one day. Full disclosure, I've already made this dress. It is the base that I used in my Christmas Craftmas dress, my Mrs. Claus cosplay dress. I didn't film the making of the dress, I just filmed the crocheting part because that was the part that took the most time and was the most like novel. But I knew as soon as I put on just the base dress, I kind of love it. I need this. I need this to be something that I can wear every day. We need an everyday dress for every season, but today we're gonna make just 2. And I am making them out of flannel. Now, the first time that I made it out of flannel. I got such a good deal on flannel. I did not get as good of a deal this time, but the first time I made this dress, it took me from cutting to sewing, it took me 3 hours. So doing 2 in a day is totally feasible. However, the first time I made it, I realized some things that I'm going to have to do this time. The first time I made it, I just serged the edges, which means that some of the edges came apart. So this time, I think what I'm going to end up doing is more like French seams. So I think I'm going to serge them wrong sides together and then turn and sew with a sewing machine. So that's going to add time and some figuring out because I have done French seams before. Well, I don't think I did them like right, but I have done them before. So half of the brain has figured it out, but it is an extra step. So am I gonna do 2 in one day? I don't know, but at the end of the day, we're gonna at least have 1 cute dress. And if I don't finish it today, then I can do the other one tomorrow. So I will have 2. Where's some wood? Here's some wood. I will have 2 finished dresses by the end of this video. The dress that I am making is a hodgepodge. We have this bodice, which is from the Amelie dress, and I made this when I did my sewing outfit. The bodice fits the bosom very nicely, so we're gonna reuse this because it was a pain getting it to fit the first time. So we're gonna use it as much as we can. So we're doing bodice from the Amelie dress. The bulk of the dress is from Simplicity S9325 that I used for the canary dress. And then I modified it to raise the back up so it wasn't a angle in the GrannySaxMas dress. So I'll be using that. So I'm at 3 so far. I'm dragging things on the floor. And then of course, the pant pocket from the men's, not the women's because the women's was smaller. But look at that difference. There's so much more pocket. Pocket equality. The men's family PJs that I got, these I made for Christmas. These are Christmas family PJs. So I'm using this pant pocket because it's huge and I love it. And I still don't understand why the women's pocket was smaller when it was like it was all a range. So like the range, they could have been the same size. But yeah, the men's pocket. And then this sleeve, I think I used a different sleeve for the last one, but I cannot find it. So I was going to make a new one anyway because I basically made up the last one and it worked really well. So I want to try to do it again, but this time trace it so I have it. But this is the sleeve from my Zia Peter Pan colored blouse, which I used to make this shirt. I mean, ostensibly I used it to make my tool shirt, my building shirt, but this is the same sleeve, but I don't want short sleeves, so I'm going to lengthen it. Oh, also, from the simplicity pattern, I'm also using the waistband for that, but folded down. And I think that's all of the pieces that I'm using from previous patterns. And I'm gonna try and make it longer as long as I can, and I might have to add a ruffle on the bottom. I don't know. We'll see if I have enough fabric, because I think I used 6 yards for my Christmas dress, which wasn't quite enough yardage. It ended up being short. Each dress will be one pattern, and I'm not planning on adding any embellishments. It's just gonna be a silhouette focused, cozy pattern. But the fabric that I have is super cute, and no, I didn't iron it. I should have. I think the other fabric will be better because I got that out of the dryer and carefully folded it faster. This did not get the same treatment. But we've got this woodland creatures. But yeah, I think I had 6 yards of the red, which wasn't enough. And this, I should have 8 yards of each. I bought the whole bolt because I just love buying the whole bolt. I bought the whole bolt of each fabric, but it's patterned, so that will eat a little more. Although it shouldn't, because I don't have that many areas where I need to worry too much about the pattern. We'll see. Anyway, we've got this woodland fox mushroomy thing. I think I'm going to do this one first because right now my serger has black thread in it and I don't want to change threads unnecessarily. We have a very springy, I mean it's still flannel, so won't be able to go into late spring, but really I just wanted something bright and cheerful for the dreary days when it's still cold. We have this spring-like fabric with bees and flowers and birds. Okay, let's get cutting. So I have taken my measurement of my arm, like, I think I need about 25 inches. So I decided just to skip to the bottom, and I'm about 25 inches up. I'll have to clean it up. Where are we at? Yeah, so we'll have a little space to clean that icky edge here. There's not really enough, so we're just going to kind of roughly do this and then trim it down. Before I measure out, I want to go to the top of this bird. Yeah, it's not really symmetrical, but it worked last time. We're just gonna go for it. I have this little insert that just curves this out. Okay. See you when everything's cut. Okay, 2 dresses cut out, and I've got a sizable amount of scraps for both of them, so I should be able to make some flannel wipes and I don't know what else. And I still have a good 42, 43 inches of this lighter fabric. So if you are careful with where you cut and try to do the smaller stuff in the scrap area, then you can get by with 7 yards. I'm probably gonna take a break for lunch because it is 11:49 and I am hungry. A couple of hours to cut. I'm not quite sure when I started, so we'll see. I think I made a big mistake, but I won't know how big it is until I finish doing what I'm doing. Ow! Womp womp. I finished the one dress in the first day, and then I was able to try it on, but I didn't really film that because by the time I finished, my child was home and my partner was off work and everyone was around, and honestly my back hurt so much. I don't know why it took me so, I do know why it took me so much longer, because the first time that I made the dress for the Christmas dress, I didn't do it right. And like I just serged it, and flannel doesn't want to just be serged because flannel just wants to fray. And as soon as I put it on, things started tearing out of their seams. So that's why when I made this version, well, this round, so that's why this round, I'm really trying to go slow and make sure that everything is extra protected, because I want to be able to wear these dresses all the time and wash them as much as they need to be washed and not have to be afraid. So it's taking way longer than the initial 3 hours from cut to done that the Crackmas dress did. But hopefully I'll be more confident wearing them and not worrying about what would happen to them if I had to put them in the wash. So, dress number 1, done. Dress number 2, cut, and I serged all of the pieces, not like together. I think a couple of them I serged together that I knew that I could French seam, but most of them I serged them just around the edges. So that was the state of the end of day 1, and oh my gosh, my back hurt so much. Like when I had to run back to the serger to do things that either got missed or like I got to the step where I could do that, I was just doing it standing up instead of sitting down, because it's easier just to do it standing up, and also it's just easier on the back. Do people ever like sew or serge from a standing desk? Because I could see at least one of those that are convertible, so if you're doing it for hours you can sit, but if you have a sore back you can stand and sew, because that would be so much nicer to have that ability, to have that flexibility, because my back was sore. The next morning I was like, all right, I'm going to finish this dress in an hour and it's going to be great, and then I can move on with my day. And it took 2-3 hours, and that was with everything already pre-serged. So there wasn't even that much to do, but I also wanted to make sure that I did a lot of seam pressing and make sure that I'm doing things right. I'm just using some scrap fabric to help me iron this, since I don't have, what's it called? A ham? Is that what it's called? For ironing over curved surfaces. So these seams don't lay flat because it's French seam and it's lined with another French seam thing. So that was a poor choice. And it means that my seams are a little sticky-arty. And then the other issue that I have is I have some visible stitching on the waistband, which kind of doesn't matter what happens on the waistband because my waistbands are in such deep shadow that it doesn't even matter. But we're being honest and showing you everything that's right and wrong with the dress. Not the best sewing, also messy corners, but that's what they call me. Call me messy corners. I think one of the main problems with this light colored dress is it just does not pop in this room. It kind of blends into it. Camouflage. But the princess seams are a lot smoother. They lay smoother. My corners are a little less messy. Ooh, less messy corners. That's what they call me now. I still have a visible stitch line, but I think I did a lot better at keeping it tidy. And there's just the one, so we're improving. And I managed to hide all of my stitching in the waistband. But as I said, waistbands are just kind of, you know, invisible. Yeah, in this dress we have, we have two different kinds of seam finishing. We have the French seams, which I put not that many in this dress. There's only a few in this dress where I thought I could get away with it. And then my brain couldn't figure out how to put a French seam and a pocket in the same seam. So I didn't. We just have this one that is serged and then sewn together and then you can press it down. I didn't. But yeah, that's the construction that we have. Pretty simple. And for this dress, I did the serge, sew together, press open for the princess seams, and that's why it gives a smoother bust. I maybe still have some work to do on leveling my sewing up, and that's okay because we're learning and we're growing. But the good news is, for the second dress, for the lighter colored dress, I took more time really trying to think things through and do things the best way possible. I did have to, you know, seam rip and redo a couple of things, but that is the way. I had to seam rip and redo the pockets on the dark colored dress so many times because I didn't realize that somehow I ended up cutting the front much longer than the back. Like longer than it needed to be. So when I matched up the pockets, like going on the bottom, it didn't match up. Like, didn't match. I thought I remembered the original pattern for the dress having pockets, but I couldn't find the pocket markers for them. So maybe it didn't, and I just imagined that. But that's okay, because of course I added pockets, because why would you ever not add pockets? I always add pockets. Oh, the other thing that is not great is the hems end up being probably a little too long on the back. Like they're not even. They're shorter in the front than the back, which I don't mind because then you're less likely to step on them. But also, if I wear these outside, the back's gonna get real muddy. So I might end up shortening the hem. I don't know that I'll make the hems even because I don't know how to do that. I feel like that takes help or tools that I don't have. So it is what it is. I honestly don't really care that much about hems because I don't really leave the house. Time to do the reveal. The dresses! Ta-da! Thank you so much for watching. So what about you? Are you team light colored dress or dark colored dress? Do you prefer the foxes and the deer, or are you all about the birds and the bees? I really love the bright colors of this one, and I think that part of your brain that just needs bright colors in the springtime, like it hits all those buttons. But I gotta be honest, I think I'm team fox and deer. I think I like this dark colored dress the most, especially when filming in this room. It really pops, and the foxes are super cute. So what about you? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to see more. See you next time. Bye. I just waited half an hour for the pump on my hydroponic system to turn off, so I wouldn't have that running, and now the heat has kicked on. So